water broke. It came out like a waterfall, and now we're getting ready to check the baby. I don't know if I can ever do that again. Here's our meal. We have rice. Hello everyone. It is chaos right now. I was kind of hesitant on actually like filming anything this month just because this month is just all about learning and figuring out, you know, your baby's cues and, you know, how they learn and how they do things. But yeah, I had a baby. I promise you I will share with you my birth story in a moment in this video. This is, by the way, we decided to call her a different name. We had two names that we really liked, and when she was born we were like, okay, this fits her a lot better than Maya. So we decided to call her Yuna, a Japanese name, just because, you know, she's born in Japan and we wanted a Japanese name that's easy to pronounce for both, you know, my parents. Yuna was it, and I really like the name Yuna a lot. Her middle name is May, so Yuna May Marita. Yes, this is my little bundle of joy. It's surreal that I have a baby. It's hard to get anything done at this point. She sleeps really well through the night, which we're very lucky. I have no idea what I'm talking about right now. We're so tired just because we do have to wake up and feed her until we go to our month appointment. Yeah, I can't believe this baby came out of me. She was almost 8 pounds when she was born, which is a big baby, and I am struggling with postpartum body issues, not weight. I lost all of my baby weight and more after I gave birth, so that was insane how much weight I lost, and my legs weren't as, you know, puffy as they were, and I'm literally back to the weight that I wanted to be before I got pregnant. The only thing is I still have to get rid of this belly. I had a big baby, guys. So I'm kind of stressed, a little worried. It's only been 3 weeks, you know, since I gave birth, a little bit over 3 weeks. So maybe it'll take a little more time for my uterus to contract, but I still look pregnant, and someone gave their seat up to me on the way to an appointment that I had the other day. So it was really discouraging and stressful because I can't fit in any of my clothes right now. Yeah, I don't want to wear a belly wrap because I need to wear it properly until I see my pelvic floor specialist that I'm going to next month. Hopefully I don't have anything like dysdiasis recti, is that how you say it? Hopefully I don't have that, and it's just a waiting game at this point. This little one is what we're focusing on right now. Okay, so I just put the baby down. We'll see how long that lasts. Sorry if you can't hear me. I don't have any microphone on my phone. I don't want to go into long of a story with my birth story. I'm not gonna say that it wasn't traumatic. There were no interventions. There was nothing. We were both healthy. I thought I was going to go over my due date, but she came the day before her due date. It was an all-night labor. I was hoping it would be during the day because I was exhausted. I didn't eat dinner at that time, so I was even more tired. And the nurses were afraid that I was going to run out of energy at some point because it was going on, you know, 8 hours of labor, and it's not a long time. Like, that's a pretty short labor. I can't imagine people that go longer than that. Again, I didn't have a choice for an epidural, so I did all of this unmedicated. I felt really grateful that I could move around the room. I even sat in the toilet for a time when I was in labor. My water broke. It came out like a waterfall, and now we're getting ready to check the baby. We're in a tatami mat room right now. I got my clothes on. Hopefully it doesn't take too long. I don't feel any contractions yet, but we'll see what happens in the next couple hours. I just did a meditation, and a labor meditation, and it just happened. So, yay, baby's coming. But let's backtrack a little bit. My water broke on the 27th of March in the evening, and I literally just got up to go pee, and it was like a waterfall that came out, and I was like, oh my god, and it spilled all over the floor. Oh my god, so gross. It's not gross, it's beautiful. I called my husband, I'm like, oh my god, my water broke. and water just kept coming out and coming out. And we got into a taxi, got there, and my contractions didn't start until like an hour and a half later. And they thought that I would have to stay overnight to be monitored. Luckily that didn't happen because I was like scared, like, oh my God, my water broke and I have to wait until the contractions start. They weren't starting, and then all of a sudden I started getting really heavy cramps. They started building from there, and then my doula came to help. Thank God she was there, and I'm glad I hired her because she helped a lot, coached me through everything. And my husband was amazing. I don't know how he got through that. It's probably trauma for him too. I was going to give birth in a tatami mat room, but I couldn't even get on the floor because of my edema in my legs. And edema is like the swelling in your legs. So they put me in a Western style room, and I was moving around. I couldn't lay down. It hurt to lay down. Maybe I was having some back labor, but I couldn't lay down, so I chose to stand up. And gravity was on my side, thank God, because the baby came a lot faster than I had anticipated. It was only 9 hours of contractions and things like that, but it felt like forever. I was just breathing and breathing and breathing, and I think to the point of exhaustion where they were like, okay, you need to eat something. And I was like, how am I going to eat with contractions? Yuji went and got me some juice, so I sucked down juice, and I was just like, I want to get this baby out. I was like visualizing her coming out because I really wanted her to come out. At that point, I was so tired. Long story short, I got on all fours at one point. I felt like my body was like pushing on its own. I said some weird stuff when I was like doing, I don't even remember half of this. Like, my mind doesn't want to remember anything. Like, my body doesn't want to remember anything, no matter how much I think about or try to remember what had happened. I can't remember, just because it was painful. It was just not, fun. I was exhausted. My body's pushing.
That's great.
What do I do?
Just keep breathing. That's all you need to do. She's not going to come out that quickly, but it's all going very well.
Got on all fours and I started pushing. They were telling me to do this like cat pose, in yoga, where you kind of push your pelvis up and you're like, okay, you're ready to meet your baby, so push your pelvis up. That's when all the damage was done, you guys. I got a 3rd-degree tear no matter what, just because she was a huge baby and her shoulder got stuck. So the tearing was a lot. I don't know, I just felt like the pain, I couldn't feel any pain. Like, I think there was so much adrenaline that at that point, I was just like, and I remember I was giving myself affirmations. I was saying out loud, you can do it, Yuna, you can do it. And I was telling myself, I can do this, like out loud in front of everybody. And everyone was chiming in, which was so nice. They're like, you can do it, Yuna. And it was just like such an empowering moment when she did come out, because I was just like, I can do this. I felt like a warrior at that point, because I was like doing this all unmedicated, and not saying that if you do this medicated, you're not a warrior either, because giving birth in general, it's a lot. It's a lot. It's like running 5 marathons at one time. She came out and she was a healthy baby. I didn't hear her cry, which scared me, and they told me, they're like, okay, catch your baby. And I was like, how am I going to catch my baby? My arms are like literally shaking. My legs are shaking. I couldn't grab her properly. So I turned to my husband. I was like, help me. It was chaos. But I was like, please take the baby, because I didn't want to drop her, and she wasn't crying, and I was scared, and it was just a lot.
Mommy's here. Oh, I'm just grabbing my finger. Mommy's here. I know. I love you. I love you, baby. Oh, it's okay. Long day, huh? Long day. Yeah.
I don't know if I can ever do that again. For now, the baby was born. It was a success. Baby Yuna May Morita was born at 4:54 a.m. on a rainy, cold day. And March 28th is her birthday. The day before her due date. I can't believe that happened. I literally did a meditation right before she was born. And it happened, the water broke. And then my husband went and prayed at the shrine. So Oh, I'm a mess.
I lost a ton of blood, and luckily I was on iron pills before that because I was seeing a nutritionist, and my vitamin levels were really good, and because of that saved me to where I didn't need any blood transfusions or more iron pills or have anemia or anything like that, but I did lose a ton of blood. I remember I looked down when I turned around and it looked like a murder scene. It was so bad. My placenta, this is the one thing that was worse than the birth and probably the most traumatic thing that I ever had to go through, and that was that my placenta didn't come out. So the doctor had to come and pull it out by hand. That was not fun. I do not wish that upon anybody to ever go through that in their whole entire life, but I screamed and cried, and my doula was holding my hand. I didn't feel the stitching because they gave me an anesthetic. They did a really good job with the stitching. I didn't have any pain going to the bathroom or anything like that. So that was basically my birth story. The thing is, here the support was amazing after the birth. I was put in a hospital room for 5 days, 3 meals a day. They, checked on me. They gave me necessary medication. They gave me tummy massages, which wasn't always fun. They made sure I wasn't blood clotting. The other thing that happened after the birth was my heart was hurting, and I felt like I was gonna have a heart attack. And I think my blood pressure was really high during the birth. I never had high blood pressure up until that point. So they hooked me up on monitors. I told them I felt like I couldn't breathe. And I think it was because my organs were in so many different places and like I couldn't take a deep breath. That was very scary. The first day I couldn't get up by myself and go to the bathroom, so I had to call the nurses to get help. They took the baby and they took care of the baby mostly when I was in the hospital, and I was okay with that because I wanted to recover. So thankfully, the nurses were amazing. They taught me how to feed the baby and take care of the baby, which was really great. Good morning, everyone. It is the next day after giving birth and I am in so much pain. Just recovering, and I have my food now. I'm not vlogging very much because I'm exhausted and I'm really tired, but usually they take the baby out at night so mothers can sleep and recover. So I will see my baby after breakfast. She's beautiful and she's healthy, and I carried a freaking almost 9-pound baby in my stomach, which is why everything was hard and painful, but it was all worth it. And yeah, I don't know how much I'm gonna vlog in the hospital or the next month or two. I'm gonna show you my meal. Here's our meal. We have rice in here. Yay! And we have some soup. This is all soy and peanut free. So the hospital is really nice here. Love it so much.
Good morning. Good morning. Did you sleep okay? So cozy.
I tried breastfeeding for the first 3 days, and to be honest, even before I bought my breast pump and all that stuff, to be truthful with myself, I didn't want to breastfeed. I had no desire to breastfeed, and some people just don't want to, and I had to be honest with myself because I also didn't want to go on that journey mentally. Just because my pregnancy was hard, the birth was stressful on my body and my mental health, the recovery was really hard and still is really hard. I have postpartum depression and the anxiety of, being a new parent, and to constantly worry about if your baby is being fed enough and what you're putting in your body, food-wise, trying to latch correctly. And I also had flatter nipples, so it was definitely going to be a journey to get that perfect. I'm really happy that I didn't go with breastfeeding and make that choice. And I know there's a lot of people that advocate for women who are breastfeed and it's better and it's healthier, and I'm sure to some degree it is, but I also don't think that it's that detrimental. I was formula fed, my husband was formula fed, so I have a lot of help from family giving me advice when it comes to formula feeding and things like that. I feel so 10 times better with my body right now, especially because I'm going through a lot in recovery, like I said before. I want my energy to be there for my baby, and I don't want to be miserable. I don't want my baby to be miserable. So I made this as a personal decision to just formula feed. You know, I feel like all around everybody's happier. My husband loves to feed the baby, loves to make bottles. I mean, I don't feel like I owe anybody an explanation. I'm sure there's a lot of you who have decided to formula feed for many different reasons. Fed is best. That's what I think and what I believe in. And I had to come to terms with that because there was a lot of pressure to breastfeed. Yuna is going to grow up to be such a, you know, beautiful woman. I just know, I can sense her personality already. She's gonna be feisty. She's gonna be an extroverted child for sure. She's already growing. I look at her first pictures that we took and I'm like, oh my God, she grew so much. It's just weird to know. I moved to Japan when I was 23 and now I'm married with kids in Japan at 32. Thank you guys for listening. I hope you can hear this at all, and we'll see how my content changes and shifts and things like that, like my editing style. Like I said, it's not going to be perfect, especially these first couple months, but we'll see. We'll find a way. Anyway, thank you guys for listening, and I promise you I'll share more of Yuna in the next upcoming videos. I'll talk to you guys soon. I am getting used to wraps. This is the best one by far. Even though it's a little bit hot for summer, they should make a summer one because this was easier than the other one that we have, and it's a lot smaller, and you can also adjust it for when later on when they're bigger. But I feel like this is so much more supportive than what I've tried before. It's called the Ergo Baby Embrace, and it was, you know, the one thing that I felt like would have more support on my back and things like that. But she loves it. She fell asleep. She fell asleep. Good head support, that's what I wanted.